We're live.
Welcome everyone to today's event. You've all probably been a part of all the daily events of the Binance Africa Hackathon, Decentralized Africa. But today is the creme de la creme of events. It is the culmination of what this hackathon has been all about. And that is the Judges Roundtable or the Demo Day show. So hackathons are all about building. And that is exactly what we're going to see today. Wilson, why don't you tell them how many projects we have lined up today, maybe what sectors they come from. And also we have a very exciting announcement coming up next from all of our favorite blockchain. And maybe Wilson, you can touch on who that is as well.
Thank you very much, Brenton. Thank you very much. Guys, you're welcome to this section. We have 9 projects who will be presenting today, telling us about what they've built so far. And then we also have the team from BSC is going to give us a highlight into some things which we can expect. Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you, Wilson. So as Wilson said, welcome to today's hackathon. We are going to have 9 African projects. So 9 projects from across Africa, in the fields of finance, NFTs, DeFi, and a lot of them are aiming to solve uniquely African problems. So who knows? Today, we could be seeing the next Pancake Swap, the next Zen Finance, or maybe the next Binance Smart Chain. Speaking of Binance Smart Chain, thank you so much to the BSC and Binance team for making all of this possible. Not just today's demo day, but the workshops, etc., that we've been holding every single day for the past 20 days. So thank you to the BSC team, thank you to Binance, but also a big thank you to all of our sponsors, including Refinable, Mobox, Quidax, Wilson's favorite company here next to me, Bundle, Fortune. Yeah. We've obviously got a Binance Smart Chain rep, and Chumezi Chuta, who we all know and love from the blockchain space. So a big thank you to all of you. But coming up first, before we take a look at these 9 amazing projects, is a special announcement that you're going to be the first to hear from Sammy Karul from the Binance Smart Chain team.
Hey guys, great to be here with you all. Thanks for the intro, Brenton. Pleasure to join you all, and thank you all for your participation in the hackathon. So Binance Smart Chain, everything we're doing really is developer focus. Without our great developer community, none of what we do really matters. So everything that we do, we really do for the developers. So I'd like to take this opportunity to share some insights on what are the common ingredients we see from the really successful projects in the BSC ecosystem. Right, so there's a couple of common characteristics. So for developers, I think developers can get super focused on just building the product, but I think there's a couple of key things there. So one is trying to understand what is the problem that you're trying to solve, and trying to get some kind of gauge of the potential market demand there. So that's really your starting point, right? So that's like kind of your idea. You want to get, once you have your idea, you try to test your hypothesis, and then you're going to start building your product. But building the product is just one part of it. So I think there's a couple of important points. There's 2 general areas that project teams need to be really solid on executing. So execution quality is super important, but execution quality in 2 areas. One is on the product development, and we'll talk a little bit more about that now. And then the other area, which is equally important, is user acquisition and community engagement. So you want to build a great product, iterate, and continue to build in feedback that you're receiving from the community, iterate early and continuously, and ensure that you have super high level quality delivery, including a security first mindset. But then also equally important is the user acquisition and growth of your platform and community. It requires quite different skill sets. I think we rarely ever see teams where it's driven by one founder that can do both. The best teams that we see, really the team composition is typically 2 founders. So one that's really focused on the product development side and driving that stream of work, and the other co-founder which is focused on the user acquisition, growth strategies, and community management. So really quite different skill sets. So aspiring developers, aspiring founders that are looking at setting up their project, that's the kind of team composition that you should be looking to have, based on what we most commonly see among the most successful teams out there in not only the BSC ecosystem, but in other ecosystems as well. So we can talk a little bit more about each of those areas. So in terms of product development, where you want to be really focusing is ensuring that you're, practicing best practices around agile development, security, etc. So your team there is going to look very, very different from the guys that are on the user acquisition, growth, and marketing community side. So product guys, and you want to kind of have it a little bit disconnected, because especially if you plan on launching a token, eventually it does happen. It's just part of the game, is that token does have markets, and of course in that market the token has a price. So you don't want whatever is happening in the markets for your token to impact what's happening on the development side of your project team, right? Those guys need to be laser sharp focused on the roadmap, your effective sprint planning, your testing, security, delivery. So you kind of want to have it a little bit segregated in terms of what's happening with the development side, and then what's happening with the growth and user acquisition side. So on the other side of it, user acquisition growth, of course, super important. With you can have a really amazing product, but if you're not really focused on delivering well with very high execution quality on the user acquisition community management side, it's really you're really not going to achieve the results that you want. So on user acquisition marketing, it's a completely different game, right? So you want to be looking at a number of different types of growth strategies, depending on which sector, which domain, whether it's DeFi or whatever it is, whatever your project is about. There's a number of marketing strategies that are very well suited to different domains. So in the DeFi space, for example, you want to be engaging the right KOLs or key opinion leaders, especially in the communities that you're targeting. You want to make sure that you have very effective partnerships, relevant partnerships with projects that are related to what you're doing. And then you want to make sure that you have really good community engagements. And of course, crypto communities are worldwide, so it's really like a 24/7 kind of job that you need to do, but also make sure that you're really on top of that, engaging your community really well and serving their needs, because having a really engaged community is super, super valuable. So just to summarize, I think the key messages that I want to share here is development side is super important. That really starts from your ideas. You want to validate that well, test your hypotheses, then start building and iterating quickly. But equally important is your user acquisition, growth, and community management side. So the execution quality on both of these areas needs to be super high. These are really the core common ingredients among the most successful project teams that we see, both in the BSC ecosystem and others. So thank you all for the opportunity to share these perspectives with you all. Best of luck in the rest of the hackathon. I think you're on mute, Brenton.
Oh, apologies for that. This new age world that we live in. Thank you so much for that, Sammy. So as I was saying, but you didn't hear. Cheers, Sammy. Thank you so much. Sammy is someone that's very close to us here at Binance, and it's amazing to believe or to even think that Binance Smart Chain deployed its first testnet in May 2020. Can you believe that, Wilson?
That was very quick, and then the attraction which it has gained over time, it's quite amazing.
It's unbelievable. Amazing. It's crazy. Yeah. And I mean, Binance Smart Chain has not only made all of these big name projects that we know possible, but they've actually empowered a whole ecosystem of creators, especially here in Africa, to change the way that things are done. Absolutely, Wilson. I mean, you guys know they're Bundle all about disruption. So I think Binance and Bundle are very similar on that front, which is why we partnered on this amazing event.
Yes.
Great. So we had some amazing words from the Binance Smart Chain team, but now it is time for the main course, what we all came here to see. And like I said, you very well may be seeing the next Binance Smart Chain, the next Pancake Swap, the next Refinable right here before your very eyes. So we are very excited for what we're about to see. In fact, it is going to be the first time that we see it along with you. And just to give you a little bit of insight into how today's going to work is, like I said, we've got our amazing lineup of judges from all of our sponsors that I mentioned earlier. And they will be judging these 9 projects along a number of different elements. And as you know, just from the judging round today, there is $20,000 up for grabs. But I'm going to hand over to Wilson, who's going to explain to you exactly what the rules are of the demo show and for each of these projects that are going to be presenting their projects to us.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Brenton. So during the event, there are 4 rules which we need to adhere to. The first rule is that each team has a maximum of 3 minutes to present. So you can set your timer and ensure that within the span of 180 seconds, you are able to summarize and bring out the most important points for the judges to ask you whatever question they may have. And then for the judges, we allow just one judge per presentation. So as the team present, only one of the judges is allowed to ask that team question. And then after that, that's the second rule now. So the third rule is that the judges will award the scores after the presentation. So after the team have presented, the judges would go on to award their score. So it is possible only one judge asks you a question, but the other 8 judges would also, the entire 9 judges would give you, the entire 9 judges will call you basically. And then yeah, that's also, those are the 3 rules basically. Firstly, each team has 3 minutes to present, and then one judge out of our list of judges will be able to ask a question to the team, and then all judges will be able to score the team at the end of the day. And then we would also announce the scoring when it's time. So that's the rules that will be governing this event this evening. Yeah. Witnessing.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm very, very, very excited. But like I said, we all came here for a reason. And that reason is to see what these amazing creators from across Africa have been up to for the last few weeks. And for those of you who will remember, they had to create projects that were either related to the NFT sector, the DeFi sector, or solved very real problems for Africans here in Africa, obviously. So the first project that we are going to be calling up is a project from the NFT space, and the project name is Clip. And what Clip does is Clip creates a solution that helps African artists tokenize themselves and their arts. They've been able to add various off-chain, real-life utility functions to actual NFT ownership, which is quite cool. So the emphasis of this project is on off-chain, real-life utility functions for the Clip NFTs. Clip is creating Africa's #1 NFT platform that enables African artists to mint and sell some of their greatest works. They've solved the problem of utilities for NFTs in various art industries like music, movies, fashion, visual arts, and more. And they believe it's only a matter of months before every top music artist in Africa will be needing an NFT strategy and a music distribution strategy. And that is where they believe Clip is positioned to service the African market. So very, very ambitious, very exciting. I cannot wait to see what Clip is all about.
So Clip, welcome. It's over to you now. You have 3 minutes to tell us about your project and what you intend to do.
Thank you so much, Simon. So Brenton pretty much summarized what we're about, right? So the Click platform provides utility for NFTs, right? And then it provides value for creators. Creators has to reach mainstream artists.
Carla, can you be a little louder?
Can you hear me?
A little louder? Slightly, yes.
Sorry, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So I was saying that first, thank you very much for having me here, Binance. And okay, so just talk about the Click platform. We basically provide utility for NFTs. Now, creators can use Clip platform. That's people who create art, whether it's visual arts or it's music or arts and fashion or even in the movie industry, right? People who create art, can take advantage of this. And for collectors, because a lot of NFTs right now are just they only exist on the blockchain, okay, and they only exist for show. So someone says, "Oh, I have this NFT," and all that. But for collectors, the NFTs that they buy on Clip, that's the Clip collectibles, would actually have an off-chain use case. Say, example, you have the NFT of a music artist, of a mainstream music artist. That NFT could give you access to their VIP access to their concerts, or access to their listening parties, or first-hand access to their music drops. So let's say, for example, Olamide is the top Nigerian artist. He's about to drop his album now. Imagine he had his collectibles on Clip, right? So people who own Olamide's collectibles would be able to view the album before any other person does. This is just an example of the kind of utility that will bring. Now, this is the industry use case to Clip, African entertainment industry, visual arts industry. So people who create art, that are for visual purposes, and then the African fashion industry, intellectual property. These aspects would come in later on, right? When we've settled with these and built our platforms on these areas. And then also we have the marketplace. Now, this is where everything is in the off-chain NFTs, which is what I just explained. Off-chain utility for NFTs, and then ordering NFTs. This aspect helps visual artists sell their works, such that, let's say you're a painter, right, and you have your art paint tokenized on the platform. Now, whoever buys it has ability to order it. So it's like buying an NFT and having the real work delivered to you, right? And then NFT collaboration. More than one NFT artist can collaborate on the blockchain, on Clip, to create an NFT. And the royalties are split already, right? On the platform. So just to give us a little breakdown of what we're doing. This is how our platform is going to look like, right? Okay. Can you see my? Yes, I think you can see my screen. All right. I'm trying to scroll up. Okay, let's restart this. Okay, yeah. So this is our marketplace. Okay. Here you create NFTs and then you explore. Now this is how the marketplace would look like, basically. This is where our Clip collectibles would be at. And then when you scroll down, you find top sellers. That's there are people who artists are also going to be able to create their platform, create their art on our platform also. Then let me walk you through I think this is enough. I think my 1 minute is up. All right, so let me give my our CTO Gian to go through the smart contract presentations. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carla. I think that was great. So, just to summarize our smart contracts, we are right now at the first stage of development. I don't want to show the GitHub smart contracts because other projects might be developing on similar platforms. But we are happy to give exclusive access to the judges. But at the moment, what we are doing is we are building the beta product, which would involve a marketplace where you can mint NFTs, where artists will be whitelisted, and whitelisted artists can mint their NFTs. That is one contract, and the other contract that we are working on is the auction contract. So as you saw. There is the ability to create NFTs as well as there is the ability to sell the NFT. So the marketplace allows not just clip minted NFTs to be sold, but they also allow external NFTs which are minted of the ERC 721 standard to be sold on our platform, of course, given that they have been minted on the Binance chain. So that's what we are currently looking at. Apart from these two features, we are also looking at a couple of additional interesting features for the users. Like as Carla mentioned, we want to have a real-time use case for the artists to be able to sell their physical art, right? So if somebody purchases a painting, a digital version of a painting, they could also potentially claim a physical version of the painting. So we are also working on figuring out how we would connect the dots from that perspective. Maybe have like an RFID, a unique barcode that is associated with the actual physical product, and then that is kind of encrypted on chain for us, which would go in as a metadata along with the NFT while minting the NFT. Of course, the physical pieces will be limited, whereas the digital pieces could be more in number as per the artist's choice. But these are a couple of things from the tech side that we are exploring as of now. We are also exploring some other cool features like Carla mentioned that we allow musicians to be able to mint their NFTs. So what we would like, this is one of the features we are actually very interestingly working on. That is, those who mint their music on our platform, we are storing the minted files on the IPFS. And then if you would like to choose a soundtrack for your NFT, you are able to do that. And if you choose to have a particular soundtrack to be displayed along with your NFT, then a bit of royalties, you pay a certain amount of fees, probably not as much as the entire worth of the soundtrack itself, but partial amount of fees, and a percentage of that will go as royalty to the person who to the music artist who minted the soundtrack as well. So these are a couple of cool engineering features, I would say, that we are working on for the platform. And yeah, in we are already halfway through when it comes to the platform integration. In another 2-3 weeks we should be done with the beta version of our platform, and then we would be in the next step would be to invite a couple of folks to test out our product, and then onboard a few artists, whitelist them, and get the platform going. So that's where we are at. Of course, the basic functionality like being able to connect your wallets, mint the NFTs using your wallets, and all of those things are per usual. And we are using Solidity, and as we know that BSC is EVM compatible, then our smart contracts are in Solidity, and our front end is built with React at the moment. I think we are. Carla, do you want to add any other features or anything? Are we through 3 minutes? Do we have some more time?
Yeah, I think we're just a little bit over, but it's perfectly fine. It was a
Right.
great presentation. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, JM, Carla. Go ahead, Wilson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carla. Thank you very much, Yana. So we're going to welcome our judge now, who would ask any question with respect to what you presented now. We have a few of our judges available, so we'll turn them on now, and then they will ask a question. Then you have a few minutes to also respond to their question before we welcome the next project. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
So our judge is ready. Okay, so the first question is going to be coming from Mobox. It will be up now.
Hello. Hello?
Yes, Mobox, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Great presentation there. So you're building an NFT marketplace. I think one thing that Sammy from the Binance Smart Chain said, no, you have a good product, that's one thing, but you also have to have a good growth strategy and user acquisition. If we're looking on the Binance Smart Chain statistics right now, you see a market there, but you can only see about an average about 300 users a day on a particular marketplace. So I want to know what's your strategy to bring in creators and bringing more users who will make use of all the great technology that you guys have.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Samuel. So, Carla or Gian, you can answer that question. What's your strategy to attract users to your products?
All right, thank you very much. So first, we're starting with music, right? Clip serves the arts industry in various aspects. But we're starting with music because it's easier to penetrate. And one of the areas we're looking at is coming up with reaching out to upcoming musicians, right? Let me give you an example. In Nigeria, we have two top upcoming musicians that I really personally like. For example, Check and Omale, right? Now, these guys are just coming up, okay? So the idea is to tokenize them and sell their NFTs. Now, just as being a fan, just for being a fan, you can own their NFTs as you showing your fan loyalty. So you own their NFTs, and let's say in 2 years or 3 years, Check wins the Grammy or Omale wins the Grammy. The value of that NFT increases because the career of this artist increases. So we're looking at an aspect for fan loyalty. That's our first strategy. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and just another point that I would like to add is, if you think of the times right now, right? I'm based out of India, by the way, and I'm sure that this situation is a little bit similar in Africa as well. If you see a lot of artists who are producing physical art, right? Mass gatherings have been shut down. If you see, exhibitions have been shut down. They have no way to exhibit what they have created. That's why one of the primary things that we are targeting is an off-chain utility. So there are artists who are cooped up right now who are creating material, but there is no way for them to interact with people or exhibit their art. So that is one of the major sections that we are going to onboard at the beginning, where people who have already created physical art, how can we help them show their physical art and display that as NFT, and get, they will already have some loyal fan base as well. So that fan base already becomes our user base, and then that kind of slowly increases, hopefully exponentially. But of course, as Carla mentioned, some of the other strategies, one of the other primary strategies being targeting the music industry. That's how actually we started the ideation process. We wanted to build something for the music industry, and kind of came here. Clip itself became a product. So these are a couple of things. Apart from that, of course, we are also trying to be very, very user focused in terms of doing events, doing Telegram events, doing Twitter spaces. So we are constantly, even though this is like a bear market situation where probably many of the projects who are in process, or who are even slightly successful, are not doing so many events. We are constantly trying to do events to keep our users engaged, existing users who have interacted with Clip in some or the other format, bought our tokens during the private sale. We are trying to do something, so we are constantly keeping them engaged, giving them updates about our project, product, etc. So that's one of the other strategies that we are actively employing to keep the community coming back and being excited, like, to come to clip.io and be like, yes, I want to buy, I want to mint my first NFT here. That's what we are trying to create in the community.
All right, thank you very much, Carla. Thank you very much, Gian. We really wish you all the best going forward. The judges will do their thing, and then we'll get back to you. So thank you very much for your time. All right, so next we're going to welcome the next project. Would also be presenting now. As a reminder, you have 3 minutes for your presentation. So as much as possible during your presentation, try to stick to the timeline so we're able to take all of the projects. So now let's welcome the next project, Arc Finance. Over to you now, Arc Finance.
Hi, can you hear me fine? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, please, great. So I'm Mike. I'm one of the founders of Hawk Finance. So Hawk started as was a fair launch, 100% fair launch, and it started as a meme token similar to, Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, whereby, there was a lot of, hype in the market around memes and what they can do and the kind of community they could bring. A lot of us who founded this token have, come from both finance, economics, as well as professional backgrounds. So, the team that came together weren't, any randoms. We've got exceptional CVs behind us. So we launched this as a community-centric, decentralized finance project. As I discussed, it was fair launch. There were no team tokens. It was 100%, fair launch. Everyone had to buy out on the market. And effectively, the way we see Hawk as the token as it stands is that we see the Bitcoin of DeFi, and that's where we've focused Hawk as itself. Our core focus now is innovating and bringing utility to the meme space. So we've kind of coined the phrase as Hawk Finance, we are meme utility. So we're seeing, effectively, is if I had to compare how do I see in the meme space today, and I speak a lot on Twitter spaces and to exchanges about this, is I see it similar to where social media was 10 to 15 years ago. How Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter started. It started, Facebook guys in a garage just having fun and wanting to communicate to each other. I see the meme space as something similar. And we look at where Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter today, they're your biggest corporates out there. So we feel the meme space is something similar, especially specifically, obviously, got the DeFi angle. So we're seeing it, the ability to create that community and create that network. Because I've always said, and as was mentioned in the beginning of the call, that community is your number one element in the crypto space right now. If you don't have a strong big community as a crypto project, doesn't matter how great your product or utility is, you will not succeed. So effectively, what are we going to do now? So, and what the utility is we're going to bring is, I'm going to share my screen, and you can see effectively the steps we've taken. So initially, we've targeted payments and remittance. So that's where we've got the Africa focus, is because Africa is one of your key remittance areas where to send. And I was sending funds to Kenya the other day. It took me over a week to send it, and it cost me nearly 5 to 10%. And I just worked out how many different financial institutions are touched between me sending the funds from the UK to Kenya. It touched almost 7 8 financial institutions, and obviously 7 8 financial institutions are taking a fee. Whereas if I had to remit fund using BSC or blockchain technology, BSC, it could cost me 10 to 15 cents to send the funds, and it confirms in a couple seconds. So it just shows the ability what we have with that. And then secondly, what we're targeting is in payments. So we effectively want to be the Visa and MasterCard of today, of the future. A lot of us see especially the younger generation, under the age of 30, do not see a use case for a wallet and do not see a use case for a card. We're going to be doing payments on our phone, and I don't see why we wouldn't be doing it, using a blockchain, and using crypto. It's just faster, cheaper, and more efficient. And obviously, it's decentralized, being, people who take part in the ecosystem are rewarded for taking part in that ecosystem. So those are the two areas we're focusing on from our utility. I'm just going to share what we've built to date. So as you can see, we've built our swap platform out, and the reason we did this, and we did this in a couple of hours when Uniswap, and we've launched on Ethereum was the initial chain we launched on because of the volume that Ethereum brings and the nature of it. Is we created the swap platform. The reason we did it was Uniswap launched their new platform and went down for almost 48 hours. So we're able to put a platform that performs better and is faster, quicker, and it's got a better inferior link. For knows that is, it means that you pulls you better gas prices, as well as it pulls the more accurate price information that a platform like Uniswap would pull their front end. It's obviously using the Uniswap smart contracts. In terms of a protocol, we plan to be cross-chain. So we want our whole ecosystem to be based off our hockfi.com. So whether you're trading on BSC, Ethereum, Harmony, Polygon, Matic, we want you to be on our platform. We don't want you to have to go to 3 swap platforms to trade on different ecosystems. We want to create kind of Hock Finance as the go-to DeFi shop. Obviously, being payments and remittance are key focus areas, but we're obviously bringing other elements that our kind of communities deciding. In terms of maybe a bit more statistics about us, we have over 56,000 users or holders. Our daily transaction volumes are over $1 million. We have, hitting our swap platform, we have almost $20 to $30 million a day coming through our swap platform on a daily basis. We currently have not built revenue mechanics into it. We are looking into doing that. So effectively similar to what 1inch does. So obviously when we cross chain, a lot of people love using our platform, not just to trade Hock, but to trade a lot of other tokens and coins, because they feel it's just easier to use, it's efficient, and it works. So in terms of building on our utility, and I obviously can talk a lot to, you would have seen our white paper, our draft white paper that I shared. We are planning to launch our utility token. As we said, Hock is it's similar to Bitcoin. No one owns it. Ownership's renounced. Contract cannot be changed. It's 100% community owned, community driven. Whereas HockFi is our utility token. We're doing it by an IFO, and you can see we've got a staking on here. So you'll be we deploying it on testnet in the next day or so. If the judges want to see the smart contracts, you can just ask for access to our GitHub. It is private. We don't want anyone seeing it now. And then just wrapping up. So we're going to do effectively advise an IFO to existing Hock holders who will be able to stake both their HockFi as well as other meme tokens on our platform. That's where we see this going. And I'll kind of open it up for any judges to ask any questions, kind of to myself or the team. I mean, while you're asking questions, I'll just go onto our Twitter page, which shows that we have 30,000 followers. and it'll be good if you can just come and follow us on at Hawk Finance on Twitter and kind of see what we're doing.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much. So now we're gonna let our judges ask a question. As a reminder, Mike is representing Hawk Finance, and then basically Hawk Finance is a payments and remittance platform that has staking and wallet integration. So allow our judges ask any question to expect to what Mike has presented. We'll just wait a few seconds.
I can see. Well, I can see we've got a question from Tom from the Refinable team.
Okay, Tom, over to you.
Hi, Mike. Do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Really cool app, but I have a short question, and is what are your plans with the BCH ecosystem, and if you see any adoption on those kind of things? Because if I understand correctly, you're Ethereum based.
Yeah, so currently we're Ethereum-based protocol, but we've already had discussions with other chains. So I kind of, this was our first protocol of getting on to having discussions with BSC. Our community have asked us all the time, when are we on BSC, and we've already in discussions with other individuals within Binance, about what the potential plans are. One of the community members said, because we got the Africa links, I'm from Africa, we should apply for this hackathon. So that's how we came into here. So it is, yes, we're going to be multi-chain ecosystem. And the reason is, if you want to go to McDonald's and buy a cheeseburger, in the future, you might be using BSC, or you might be using Ethereum, or you might be using another chain. We want to enable whatever the user wants, as well as whatever the vendor wants, whatever chain they are, to use that. We're going to be chain agnostic. So, and obviously BSC has massive volume next to Ethereum. We definitely going to be on BSC is the answer.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and to our judges as well, Tom. Thank you very much. So we'll go on to introduce the next team now. Brenton, do you want to introduce the next team?
Yeah. So we've had some very exciting projects, and we all know art and the NFT marketplace go together hand in hand. Well, somebody else feels that, and that is the team from the Aphen Art Marketplace, who are an NFT-based marketplace. So to tell you more about the Aphen project, let's hear directly from them. Seems like maybe they are having some technical difficulties. Let's just see if we can bring up one of the other projects in the meantime. At least we'll give everybody a little bit of time to cool down from all of that exciting first two projects. Wrap your heads around them until we get onto our next project, which will be up in the next minute. Which will be up in the next.
All right, yes, so thank you very much. It's and Deborah. So Deborah, over to you, please. You have 3 minutes to go over your project. Tell us what your project is all about, and then our judges could ask any possible question that comes up based on the presentation which you are giving now.
All right, thank you, Wilson. I'll share my screen shortly. Okay. Please, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Can you hear me, please?
And then at some point you could bring up you could share your screen again. We can hear you, Deborah. So maybe you could actually go on with the explanation now. Then at some point you could try that again. Okay, cool.
Okay, all right then. Thank you very much. So I will start with introducing what Aphen is all about. AFEN is an NFT project created with the aim to revolutionize key potential sectors in Africa, namely arts, real estate, and education. The AFEN project has gone past preliminary stage to involve a team of enthusiastic expert team, adequately skilled and ready to deliver a working platform. And our vision is to become a leading hub for African blockchain-related opportunities and collaborations with focus on decentralized finance, arts, education, and the real estate sectors. Also, our vision is to become that one-stop shop for accessing opportunities available on the blockchain. Our services range from a decentralized NFT marketplace for the exchange of arts, a peer-to-peer platform that facilitates tokenized real estate transactions with low fees, to a blockchain education platform where knowledge is exchanged between tutors and students, all built on the Binance Smart Chain. And our mission, overall mission, is to revolutionize opportunities through blockchain technology. However, today I would be presenting the AFEN Arts Marketplace because that is why we're here. So I'll be speaking briefly on that, starting with the problem statement. Why did we form AFEN Marketplace project? So starting with the problem statement, African art and culture has thrived for generations. And however, historically, it has been challenging for local creatives and collectors in Africa to preserve the value of cultural assets that they produce or that they own. And in fact, in recent times, the industry has been faced with newer problems affecting especially the contemporary African artists, especially when it comes to securing provenance of the art that they produce. And what is AFEN doing about this? AFEN's existence is centered on the digitization of contemporary and legacy African arts, long kept undervalued. And the creation of the AFEN NFT marketplace on Binance Smart Chain, where digitized African art can be secured and transferred, will enable artists to enjoy the true value of their art long term. So artists will not only enjoy the true value of their art because they can now earn royalties whenever their work is sold in secondary markets, which is one of the major benefits of owning an NFT. You can enjoy value of your art over a period of time when your work is sold in secondary market. Apart from that, artists will now have a level playing field. They will now have a level playing field to participate, compete in the global market. This is what we are looking to achieve for the African market. And this will also now provide, the AFEN NFT marketplace will provide an available platform with access to a wider range of art lovers, opening the African art market to credible investors, and also creating a level playing ground, as I initially said. At the moment, we have been endorsed by the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, that is the NTDC, in Nigeria to digitize some legacy artifacts and museums. So we're not only working with contemporary artists, we're also working with the government to see how we can digitize legacy artifacts and secure provenance of these artifacts on the blockchain. I'll speak briefly about our arts meeting process before I go off. So first, art is minted using the BSC tokens, BEP20 tokens, and they're stored in connected wallets of the minting artists. We collect a listing fee of 2%, and our back-end selling fee is charged at 7%. Also, artists are able to set royalties when they are creating their profiles on the platform. So artists can can set their royalties of up to 20%. So when their artwork is transferred in secondary markets, they're able to earn returns in the long term. So that's basically the long and short of my presentation. If you would have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. I also have one of my team members on standby. Is from the development team, David Yu. So if you have any questions relating to the technical aspects or the blockchain aspect, we'll be happy to answer as well. Thank you.
Hi, Deborah. So my question is about the platform and how the roadmap would look like to onboard new artists for the future, for 2021, for example.
Please, can you take the question again?
What is the roadmap for launching the platform and onboarding new artists?
Okay, so we did a soft launch for beta testing a few days ago, and we'll be launching. So we've launched the platform already, afenmarketplace.com, and it's up for beta testing. So we're currently testing with the community, but we will be launching. We'll be going live for artists minting this week. The development team is putting some finishing touches to ensure that we've tested end to end and we're ready to go live. So that will definitely happen this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Deborah. That was pretty interesting. So that much you do, we'll move on to introducing our next project. For those of you who might have missed it, Afen NFT Marketplace is an NFT-centered project, right? So it's similar to the first project we had earlier on NFT as well, but they have their own speciality. All right. So without much ado, we're going to make welcome the next team. The next team is Scofarm Token. That's the team. That's the title of their project. The project is basically a staking and farming platform. And what they do basically is that is a crypto developed to enable the subscription, withdrawal, and referral purpose for users on the Scofarm platform. It will be available on various trading platforms according to the information, according to their roadmap. But then we're going to welcome a member from their team to explain more details about this project to us. So Scofarm, over to you now.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. My name is Toyosi, and I'll be representing the Scofarm team today. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen so that we can show our presentation. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me?
Yes, Scofarm, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, then. So Scofarm is an online sports platform that connects football lovers with various online sports features powered by the Scofarm token, and it is built on the Binance Smart Chain. So we aim to solve different problems. So the football space globally has a large market with various potentials that are still untapped. And the sporting space doesn't have a platform that meets the needs of sports fans as a whole in terms of streaming live matches, getting accurate predictions, connecting football fans virtually, whilst using a decentralized trusted system. So the Scofarm ecosystem includes providing accurate predictions with Scofarm Predict, earning rewards with Predict and Win, connecting fans virtually with Fans Connect, watching live matches with Scofarm TV, betting on football games with Scofarm Bets, and performing transactions with the Scofarm token. So the Scofarm token, the transactions that you can use with the Scofarm token includes subscription, withdrawals, taking opportunities, and also placing bets. So Scofarm is actually an innovator in terms of, adding leveraging on the blockchain technology into the sporting space. So below is an architectural design of how a simple predict and win transaction can be done by a Scofarm user, right? So basically, we have different features like I've mentioned before, and we have we have launched. We have a soft launch that we did a soft testing, and we know that this market, based on the testing that we did, market is still largely untapped, and we have over 1,000 users and over at this time. So we know that this large market that the cryptocurrency world and the sporting world can be fused in order to leverage on this market. This is my team. We are a team of 4, and if anybody's interested in getting in touch with the Scofam community, please feel free to do that with the Scofam website, scofam.org, and join us on Twitter and Telegram. Be happy to have you. That will be all from my presentation. Does anybody have any questions, please?
Hi. So first question for me is, of course, betting is is a really big market. So I was wondering if you did some research towards fraud detection and maybe having the wrong input of sporting data, which would make the transactions go to the wrong persons, for example.
Wait. Can you repeat that question again? I don't get that. Hello, I did not get the question. Please, can you be repeated?
Sure. Sports betting is a really big market, so I can imagine that using information from sporting games could result in fraud and other specifics. Did you do some research towards handling centralized data inputs in your platform to prevent fraud of the wrong input to your system?
Hi, please answer your question.
Sorry, you fell away. I couldn't hear your answer, sorry.
Yeah, I said I have a team member here that would answer the question that you asked.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. I'm Switchere. Please, can you repeat the question?
Sure. So I was wondering the sporting data, how you would process it in your system, because it might be coming from a legal party that is publishing the wrong results on chain. So did you do some research
No.
on preventing?
Well, yeah. So for the results, we actually used our own algorithm to check every prediction that a user make on the platform that will actually prevent fraud on the system. So we've actually done our market analysis to actually prevent this.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for that score, fam. And thank you for the insightful questions, Tom. And next up, I think we have a project that we're all going to be interested in. Like I said, DeFi has been all the rage recently. And Piggyfi is a project in that exact space. So Piggyfi is a savings platform, but with a very big difference. So Piggyfi is a DeFi savings platform that doesn't need an Ethereum client. It actually allows savings using fiat currency, so NGN, which is converted into a stable coin using the P2P market and staked on lending platforms such as Compound and Venus Protocol to earn interest. When users want to withdraw these savings as stable coins, it can then be converted back to fiat, such as NGN, via the P2P market. So Piggyfi is really looks like it's looking to disrupt the entire banking sector. So Femi, over to you to tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Brenton. Can you view my screen now? Because I'm sharing my screen. Can you view my screen, Brenton?
You can't hear me backstage. Yeah, we can. Perfect. Go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah, great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good day, judges. My name is Oluwafemi, and I will be presenting the Pigify project. But before I proceed with the presentation, I would like to mention that the problem Pigify is solving is applicable to other African countries. But since we'll be first launching in Nigeria, I'll be using Nigeria and Naira as a case study. So what problem is Pigify trying to solve? There has been a problem of continuous loss in the value of Naira over time due to persistent rising inflation rates. And according to the report from the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, Nigerian rate of inflation rates has reached a 4-year all-time high of 18% in March 2021. And this was majorly driven by the impact of the pandemic, which has induced a drop in the price of oil, which is Nigerian main exports, coupled with other problem, weakening the Naira currency against the US dollar. So I will give us a case study in order to understand this better. So the Naira devalued drastically in the last 12 months from $1, which is equivalent of 260 Naira, to as high as $1, equivalent of 500 Naira at a point in time. So it means that a fixed income earner saving 20,000 Naira monthly at $1 equals 360 Naira in the last 12 months would have saved a sum of 240,000 Naira, which is supposed to be equivalent of $660. But instead, it will be only worth $500 at year end. And that's because the person was saving in a currency with high devaluation rates. So resulting in a huge loss of $160 in the value of money. So what's the solution that we're bringing? Our solution is a DeFi savings platform without the need of an Ethereum client, such as MetaMask, to remove the barrier of entry, that allows anyone to save in a much more stable currency, such as the US dollar, by leveraging on stable coins such as DAI, and generating interest on savings by staking in lending platform such as Compound Protocol or Venus Protocol. So this solution will be deployed on the Binance Smart Chain because it has low gas fee. It requires no technical knowledge of how to use Ethereum clients. There will be no centralized organization that hold user funds. And policies such as the one that Central Bank of Nigeria would release, which would control and limit the amount of dollars circulating in the economy, won't affect user. So how does this really work? So if a user come on board of the Pigify platform, once a user register, the user can either register as a vendor or a saver. If the user registers as a vendor, it is assumed that the user has some technical knowledge of using Web3 clients. So the user will connect using the Web3 clients to provide liquidity to the smart contracts, in which immediately half of the liquidity provided will be staked into the Venus protocol. So it won't keep the funds idle. And once the fund is needed, the smart contract will take it back for liquidity. But instead, if the user registers as a saver on the platform, automatically a wallet with a private key is generated for the user. And now the wallet will never hold any funds at all. The only thing this is going to serve is the private key will be used to sign off-chain transaction using the EIP 712 standard, so that if the saver wants to perform any action, such as peer-to-peer transaction, by converting fiat to DAI to be able to save on the platform, or convert that back to fiat, or if the user wants to save DAI on the platform, the hash and the message will be communicated with our Node API, which will in return communicate with our smart contracts, and then it's going to get the signer of the transaction, and the signer of the transaction will serve as a message.sender. So how does Pigify make money while doing this? We plan to make money in two ways. One, we intend to charge per transaction 0.5% on savers, capped at $5, and 1% on vendors, capped at $10. Also, like I mentioned earlier, half of all the liquidity provided by vendor is automatically staked to generate interest instead of staying idle, and unstaked when liquidity is needed. So the Pigify team is currently made up of 3 people. We have myself, Oluwafemi Alofe. I'm the smart contract developer, and currently I'm a CTO and founder of a growing fintech startup, which is also a savings platform. So I have some experience in the savings and fintech space. We have Damilola Ogumwe, who is our front-end developer too, who is very experienced, and we have Folusha Alofe, who is our growth marketer. Finally, I would like to mention who our target market is, right? Unlike the barrier that is existing now in the DeFi space, where those that do not have technical knowledge in order to interact with several DeFi, think of interacting with Pancake, Swap, and the rest of the DeFi. You would have to understand how wallet works, what gas fee works, and all of those things. We are taking all those limitations off by allowing transactions to be signed off-chain. So anyone with a smart device and access to the internet who wants to save their funds in more stable currencies to guard it against inflation can use the Pigify platform. So although we are starting in Nigeria, the solution is replicable in other African countries suffering from high inflation rates? Thank you. So I would like to take any question now.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Thank you very much, Tom, for that. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best. We would, our judges, like I was saying, our judges would actually score and then get the feedback in the end. But without much ado, we're going to move on to welcoming the next. Could you mute the mic for me, please?
Okay, I'll move my mic already. Thank you.
Okay, so with no question from the judges, we're going to move on to welcoming the next team. So the next team is Cassava. The next team we have is Cassava Swap. Basically, Cassava Swap is similar to Uniswap, and then it's Africa's, according to them, it's African first non-custodian decentralized liquidity protocol. So a member from the team will come up and then will tell us more about the projects, basically. Yeah. So. Just a moment so we can welcome the team from Cassava Swap. Okay, just a few moments and then we'll welcome. All right, here they are. The name is Edward from Cassava Swap. Edward, you're welcome. Please tell us about your project. You have 3 minutes to go over your presentation. We want to emphasize that as much as possible, you should try to keep to the timing, so that within 3 minutes you should be done going over everything you need to talk about. And then if you have any question from our judges, they will let you know. And I also note that as you give your presentation, our judges are actually scoring you based on the number of on a number of criteria, right? So make sure you take note of that. Over to you now, Edwards.
Okay. Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are very audible. You're very audible.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm not sure how I can share my screen on this platform. Please help me.
Okay, you could see a share button just beneath.
Okay. Yes, I've seen.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right. First, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Binance platform and their teams for this privilege to discuss our project on this platform. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. So, okay. Telegram. Sorry, I'm coming. Yes, can you see my screen?
At this time, no, but at this time we can see your screen. All right. You're right. It's loading now. Thank you very much. We can see your screen, so you can move on.
Okay. So Cassava Swap, like you already know, is an automated market maker in the decentralized finance and it's decentralized finance protocol that is easy to navigate. So this is our project vision, which is right before you. So to build Africa's first and leading automated market maker and DeFi protocol that is easy to navigate, has lower fees, and has a wide, flexible integration of fiat to satisfy the decentralized financial needs of a wider range of users. And introducing our project, I'll just read Cassava Swap is Africa's first non-custodial decentralized liquidity protocol on Binance Smart Chain. And the platform also supports farming, NFT minting, and marketplace, and has a vast integration of 40 plus fiat payment channels to ease buying and selling of crypto assets. Now, for now, Cassava Swap is going to be hosted on the web platform only. But in time, like we have in our white paper on our roadmap, by the first quarter of 2022, we intend to be launching our mobile app and our web applications. So we all know there are so many DeFi protocols, right? But Cassava Swap has its uniqueness, and the first is that we're going to be Africa's first. And apart from the fact that we find uniqueness in Africa's first and setting the pace for such nice innovations in our continent. We believe that our project solves a wide range of problems, which we are going to be discussing very soon, right? So the third uniqueness is found in our NFT marketplace. Like, and this is actually something that is in no other NFT marketplace in the world. Uh, Excuse me, can you see, is my slide moving? Can you see my slide?
We can see your slide, but it's really not moving.
Wow, wow, wow. I had no idea. I just, wow.
Okay, nice. Yeah, okay, now it's
Okay,
changing.
okay. I'll just use this. So these are our unique guys. So
Thank you.
we incorporated a feature called NFT collateralization in our NFT marketplace. And this is a feature not seen in any other NFT marketplace in the world. Now, this feature allows users to collateralize their minted and verifiable NFTs for a loan. So, in this feature now, it allows users who have NFTs, maybe they are not willing to totally let go of, collateralize it and get a loan to solve their needs. In the end, the users solve their needs and the lender gets a percentage extra from the money he lent, the money lent. So, in other words, it's a win-win situation, really. So, this is a feature we're really very proud of. And I'm really hoping the world will be seeing very soon. So, um, on to the problems and the solutions. Now, that made us decide we're going to incorporate these features. The first is the bureaucratic loan processes. Now, we all know that for you to get a loan in a bank or a financial institution, you need to go and you need to provide documentation uh, for that, the collateral for the loan, and then it will take processes and processes before they verify and all. But so, knowing the fact now that NFTs can either be digital or physical, it's going to be very easy to verify these NFTs and grant people loans very easily through our NFT collateralization in our NFT marketplace. And it solved the problem because it's going to be easier to get loans once the collateral is very easily verifiable. So the next thing is transaction fees. Now, we're going to be solving this problem because we've noticed that some DeFi protocols have transaction fees for as high as 10%. So we're going to be charging per transaction fee minimum between 0.2 and 0.5%, making it easier for people to transact with ease. And then because of the many features this platform is going to have, we're going to be getting more people actively involved in crypto. For instance, people are now going to learn that they're going to be able to do some certain things like get a loan with their NFTs with crypto, and it will actually help them to participate more actively. So about the token, our token's name is going to be called Cassava, and the symbol is Casa, and we're going to be having a total supply of 50 million annually. Now, this 50 million we're going to do it in such a way that it's not going to be more than 50 million. And if the 50 million that has already been minted gets to the end of the year and it's not completely exhausted, all the rest of it is going to be burned. And that's also going to increase the ability of the token and increase token users to a higher price. So now the utility of this token is basically for governance of the platform. Now we know that this project is open source, clearly open source, and then anything that is going to be going on, decisions that are going to be made in this platform is going to be open source and open to the people, community members to vote on it. So the token is going to serve as a voting power for people to vote on the changes we're going to make on the platform and other features we're going to be implementing. It's also going to serve as a store of value like other assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's going to be a great store of value. And lastly, it can also be used to trade and transact in our NFT marketplace. So right here is our roadmap, which is also in our white paper, and our documentation is on GitHub account. Forgive me. So we have the documentation on the GitHub account, and we would have actually shared the project as it is but we decided to actually, since we're still doing including some finishing touches on the project, so we decided to just take the presentation so we don't share a half done job. And that's
Brilliant.
basically
Sure.
about the
Thank
project.
you very much. Thank you very much, Edward. It's very, very exciting project. A little bit over time, but I think Samuel from Mobox has a question for you.
Okay.
Hi, Edward. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I think great product. No Uniswap, PancakeSwap, all these decentralized exchanges. They've been proven to generate a lot of usage, utility, and users. You mentioned getting more people into crypto. I think one thing, because I've been in the industry for about 4 or 5 years building decentralized applications, and one big issue with getting more users into crypto is the high barrier. A user doesn't need to know the private keys, or the learning process is quite difficult. So how do you intend to get more users into SwapSwap?
Excuse, I have a teammate who is actually in charge of the technical aspect and of the. So I would like to actually invite you all to share one of the things on that. I couldn't hear it clearly. The voice keeps echoing. I'm not sure why, and I don't want to waste the judge's time by telling them to repeat the questions continuously. That's why I'm actually inviting my teammate. Hello.
You kind of cut off there.
Hi, Edward. Is your representative here to answer the question?
I don't think he's.
Sure.
I didn't really hear you
I think we're
clearly.
going to have to move on. That's fine. Thank you, Edward. I think we're going to have to move on. But great project. Maybe Wilson, do you want to introduce the next project coming up for us?
Sure, no problems. We can do that. So the next project that is coming up is still on the NFT industry, and then this is coming from Flora DAO. Basically, it's an NFT DAO that is, according to the information here, is an NFT DAO that is a non-forkable token decentralized organization that is built to facilitate community ownership and development of NFT innovation. So we're going to welcome the team from Flora DAO, who's going to explain more about their NFT projects to us, so we're able to understand what they aim to achieve with their projects. Caleb, over to you now.
Hello, good evening. My name is Caleb. I am the founder of the Flora DAO project.
Sorry, I was on mute there. It looks like we're just having a slight technical difficulty with Caleb. I do recall there was a second team member. Emmanuel, maybe we can bring the second team member up to just take over in the meantime. Okay, well, it looks like we're going to have to come back to Flora DAO. Emmanuel, do we have the VoteAdapt team with us? So we have seen some very exciting projects thus far. We have but 2 projects left to go. Thank you all for sticking around. We know a lot of these projects have been slightly over time, but it's so interesting, how can we really, not afford them the opportunity. So it seems we have the Flora DAO team back. So Emmanuel, feel free to bring them up.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. Just share your screen and go ahead.
Okay, okay. Good evening, everybody. Well, I'm not the one who's going to be presenting tonight. My partner is going to be presenting, Caleb. He should be here. He's the one that's supposed to be presenting. He's with the slides and everything.
Great. So Marvelous. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to wait. So why don't we bring Marvelous back on, or we'll bring him back when they are ready. But is Smart Bets or Voted Up ready, Emmanuel? Looks like the technical troubles are running across a few of our projects at the moment. So sorry about that. We will be back with our next amazing project in just a minute. And there we go. So up next is VoterDApp, which you may have guessed is a voting decentralized application. And very short and sweet. Voter is a DApp that can be used to manage elections and voting, which we know has huge utility here in Africa, particularly. So very excited to hear about what you have for us. Voter Project, take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bliss, and thank you, Brenton, for that intro. So Voter is basically a platform that focuses on solving issues when it comes to polling and elections. My case study, for example, for today is Nigeria, given that I'm from Nigeria and I'm in Nigeria in a situation where every 4 years where there's an election, there's always an issue of missing ballots. The military armed forces being deployed to election grounds, and then there's intimidation, and there are these problems that arise every single 4 years that elections are needed. So I want to show you an example of the platform that we're working on currently to mitigate that problem on the Binance Smart Chain. So 1 second. Just having a little bit of problem sharing my screen, but I hope this goes. Okay, so this is an example of what our platform looks like. This is basically a demo of what we have, and you can check it out right now if you want to. The URL is app.voter.africa. So what we're trying to create and what we're trying to solve is the issue of accountability. For example, where someone goes to a voting poll and you see kids voting that are not up to 18, that don't understand. So that skews the results of each vote and each election. So we try to create a platform that can easily work for a small group of people and also a big group of people that as big as a country itself. So it can work in a small setting where it's just a school or it's just a local environment where people are like, all right, we want to vote on who's going to represent us on something. And then, for example, school chancellors or head of the department in a school. So I want to show you just an example. I don't want to talk much about it. I just want to show you an example of what the platform is. So here we have an example. And what you can start off with is we already have a poll that's already started and it closes in 7 days. But I want to take you through the steps since I have less than 3 minutes to show. So I want to create a poll, and I have to name a poll. I would say sample poll 2, or I can name it the BSC Hackathon poll, which is and then I can set the date and the time for which it kicks off. So I can start it from next Tuesday all the way to next Saturday, and then I can add a little bit of description to it. And then I submit that. That pulls up my MetaMask and my wallet, and I confirm that. So that until that takes that might take a few seconds to register. And once that's completed on my queue, you see the poll appear right here on the side. And then what will happen is we go ahead and we add the candidates while this is completing. So that's completed. Here we can just select and add a candidate. So let me say Sam is example as a candidate, and I'll say his party is APD, and then he has a manifesto. So we state the manifesto of what the person or what the candidate has, and then we submit that as well. So that pulls up my MetaMask. Excuse me for the long process. But once I confirm this, and it's confirmed on the blockchain as well. So everything on this platform works based off of the BSC blockchain. So I wait until this completes on the blockchain, and this is actually working on the BSC testnet right now, and the contract is live. And Sam shows up here. So when all the candidates in the poll or the election, for example, has been completely added, me as the admin of this election can copy this ID of the election and share with someone else. So I have set up a second wallet on a different browser here. So I paste that ID and add it and give it a few seconds to show up here. And then I click on that and I have that blockchain, the poll open here. So I can easily click on poll access and request. So state validator, I can be a zone validator, or I can be a voter. So I can request it for the state validator access and confirm. So why there are different steps for validation is on the federal level, say, for example, Nigeria again, on the federal level, we have different states, and then from different states, we have local governments, which would be otherwise called as zones, and then we have voters. So the process that this works is a two-way communication street. So when you request for validation for a voter access, you get a unique ID that you can use to pass off to somebody or someone who's one level above of you, where you can give them that ID and say, validate me to be able to vote in this poll or election. So what that creates is some kind of accountability where you don't vote, where you don't accept someone onto the vote or onto the poll itself if you're not sure of them. Because if the person is a minor and it's found out that the person is a minor, you might have to face consequences for skewing that election or something like that. So you copy this over, I copy this over, and I'm trying to give access to that second user. So I give them the ID here and I submit the to validate whatever the access that they're looking for. In this case, that's the state validator. So I wait for a few seconds for that to get through as well. And that way, when they're done, when this is completed, I can be able to say, all right, this user can now vote in this election. So now this user can now vote in the election. See, I need to maybe refresh this page and 1 second. So they can now vote in this election, but then given that the poll opens in 5 days, this won't work. So what I want to do is I want to show you now how you can vote using this platform. So this one, the poll is open and it closes in 7 days instead. So I can pick one person, one candidate that I want to vote for and confirm. And then I wait till that confirms on the blockchain and this comes in. And one of the reasons we chose the Binance Smart Chain for this solution is that it's the validation process. The gas fees are extremely low compared to most of the other platforms out there, and the adoption to the process itself is a lot simpler. This is basically an alpha version of what our platform would look like, but we're still in the development phase. This is still on the testnet, and we still have a lot more ways to go when it comes to building out this platform completely as it needs to be. So once I refresh this, and it's going to show that my votes counted, I have voted and I can't vote for any other candidates anymore. So I'm open to any questions. Our code is also available on GitHub as well. So we're still developing this platform as needed, and I'm open to any questions.
Hi, a very interesting app. I really like it, and definitely for the use cases that you mentioned for Africa with some regimes that could not listen to election results. And I was wondering how you would tackle it in practice. So, for example, if a regime might not take up the results as true, or would you tackle it from the bottom up and start with small organizations and work your way up to earn the trust, or are there already partners lined up, for example?
Yes. So the goal is to start small. So the great thing about the blockchain, I don't know if I've stated this point before, is that there's no server somewhere that I need to scale or lower the cost and effectiveness, and there's no database where I can change anything. So the blockchain is completely immutable. You can't necessarily change anything. If you've written anything to the blockchain, the data is there. So what the goal, where we'll start is starting out with small organizations, like I said again, schools, for example, where schools can vote for a head of department using the blockchain. And also, what this does is it increases adoption of an understanding of what wallets are, and having private keys, and understanding what you need to do with this kind of private keys, wallets, and mnemonic keys, and all mnemonic phrases, and all these intrinsic details that are in that's about the blockchain. So for developing trust, the blockchain, what we plan to do is make the code public, verify it on the blockchain as well, so that anybody who goes through the code would understand that this is a contract, this is how this contract was written. And if anybody needs to verify or needs to confirm, but then when it comes to the users end of things, we start out small with small organizations, with small group of users, people, even if it's a church, or it's a like a I'm trying to think of any smaller organizations that's around me in Nigeria where we can
NGOs
apply
maybe.
this concept. But yeah.
No, really cool. Thank you.
That was an exceptional project. So VoteAdapt, thank you so much. For all of our listeners, don't forget, you can still vote for VoteAdapt on the HackerLink hackathon page. So I think definitely a project worth voting for. As Tom from Refinable said, a use case we could really use in certain parts of Africa. So we are now down to our final two projects. And the next one is something probably a lot of us spend time on. And the next project is SmartBet, who pretty much cover the entire suite of what's hot right now. So that's NFTs, staking, and farming. So who is SmartBet? They're a decentralized prediction or betting and farming platform. And they say that SmartBet is the smart way to bet and earn even more. So from SmartBet, we have Opiemi with us. Opiemi, take it away.
Hi, Brenton. Can you hear me?
Hi, Opiemi. Yes, we can hear you perfectly. Please share your screen and go ahead. If you could just be a little bit louder as well, please. Thank you.
Okay. Can you see my screen now? Hello, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen. There, the presentation is up. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Olabode Opeyemi, team lead of project SmartBet. Our product is SmartBet, the smart way to bet and earn more. This project solves the problem of trust and transparency between bettors and traditional betting platforms by providing a decentralized and trustless platform for these betting engagements. Additionally, we kind of provide bettors with the opportunity to earn additional profits on their wins. And here are key values. First of all, anyone with cryptocurrencies can place bets, and we currently accept BUSDs. For as long as bettors keep their rewards in the pool, they earn dividends from the platform. Now, another innovation that we implemented is the safe bet strategy here, such that the platform ensures that there will always be enough funds for expected payouts at the point of placing the bets. On top of that innovation, bettors are issued smart assets, which are basically NFTs that hold and keep track of the value of the bets, as well as the accrued incentives and the dividends of the farming. To crown it all, we understand that the more liquidity we have, the more profit we get to share with all our liquidity providers with respect to the bet winners who hold their NFTs. So, and we also use gasless transactions powered by economy to drive early adoption for our users. So okay, so here's what our system looks like. The first thing that happens is we get live data from Sports API, and then about upcoming matches from third-party APIs. The second thing is that the admin enlists the matches from the that can be bet on, and we are currently working on decentralizing this. The through by economy in some cases. And afterwards, assets like native BNB is swapped on PancakeSwap. We are currently implementing 1inch for better exchanges. And afterwards, we kind of, a smart asset is minted for the better, and this keeps track of the bet. It keeps track of the value of the bet and the accrued value of the bet with respect to the farming itself. And then the next thing that happens is, of course, through Chainlink, we are able to we are able to get the results of the live events, of the live matches in a decentralized way. And the final thing that happens is that through the lending and farming platform, of which we have implemented Venus platform trades with the stable coins. So next is we have our team, and myself, Kwemi, Damilola, and Oyemade. We've been working on this, and then let's show you what we built. All right. So the first thing that happens is that the upcoming matches are created by the admin of which we said that we are currently decentralizing this. So it's going to create a match between Chelsea and West Ham. After which is going to set the odds on the matches. These custom odds can be set, but we also are able to get bookmakers like Bwin for trusted odds. And then the match is created on the platform. After the match has been created on the platform, we get to see the list of matches like you can see here, and then the user can place bets. In this case, West Ham versus Chelsea. Here you can already see that there's a bet that has been placed here and a smart asset that represents that bet. And this time, the next bet is going to be a draw, and here in BNB, and you can see here lens of this amount in BUSDs because they're in stable coins for to meet the risk of the volatility of two assets that they have to bet with. After you take a look at all of the smart assets, right, of all of the NFTs that they have based on the bets that they have made, and then they can, of course, withdraw their payout at will at any time. And this is basically all that the platform affords you to do. Again, smart bet is the smart way to bet and earn even more. There are other things that we are currently doing, part of our kind of collaboration, well, not collaboration, our meetings with the Binance team is we want to ensure that users can also place bets using the value of their smart assets. We also want to give more power to our users through the governance framework. And finally, we want to complete the integrations with 1inch, as well integrate other aggregators for the farming yields. I think that's all for my end. Time is up now. Thank you very much.
So that is a very, very interesting project. I can't wait to take around with it a little bit myself. But judges, do we have any questions? If we don't have any questions, perhaps we can move on to the next project. Great. So our final project, or our second to last, project for today is FloraDAO, who is returning. And FloraDAO is an NFT DAO that is a non-fungible token decentralized organization. And it's built to facilitate community ownership and the development of NFT innovation. The project is dedicated towards delivering a robust, scalable, decentralized DAO system that features listing, trading, value-added services, governance, and many more. NFT DAO's aim is to continue to leverage the concepts of blockchain and voting to realize real-time decentralized decision-making. So to tell you a little bit more about the project, I'm going to hand over to Marvelous and Caleb from the FloraDAO team.
All right, thank you very much, Brenton.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Marvelous Macaulay, and I'll be presenting. Let me share my screen. Allow me to. Okay. Okay. So here's my screen. Can we all see it? Can we all see my screen? Am I being? Please, can you guys see my screen? I don't know if I'm being heard.
Yes, we can see your screen and we can hear you perfectly. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So this is FloraDAO. So FloraDAO basically is a decentralized organization, decentralized autonomous organization for NFTs. It's an NFT DAO, NFT decentralized autonomous organization. And if you've been in the blockchain space for some time, you'd understand what DAOs are. They're basically they bring governance, the decentralized governance. That's the simplest way I'm going to say it. It's just decentralization of governance. So there's no centralization of power. The power for any project or any DAO is resting in the hands of the community. The community, people who own those tokens, who participate in sharing those tokens, are the people who make decisions through votings and all that. So we also know what NFTs are. So I don't want to take so much time in explaining what NFTs are and all that. So basically, let me just jump to our features. Okay, NFT governance is not something that is really rampant now. I don't know. I don't think there are any people who are really doing this stuff like want to do it. So it's just a non-fungible token decentralized organization that is built to facilitate community ownership, right? So the NFTs, now people can co-own NFTs. The logic behind what we're doing is to make sure that people have access to NFTs. So we all know that most valuable NFTs are really expensive. It's not something most normal people can just afford. You have to be probably wealthy or a whale to be able to afford some of these NFT, most valuable NFTs. So what we are doing now is to bring this thing to people who generally can't afford it, right? So we are decentralization. We are decentralizing the ownership of this NFT. So now probably an NFT is worth $50,000, $100,000. You might not be capable to own one of it, but you can participate in the ownership. You can own a piece of it. You can also own a piece of land on a metaverse. You can own you can co-own an NFT minted newly by a well-known NFT artist and all that. So that's the basis for the creation of FloraDAO. So we are dedicated towards delivering a robust and scalable decentralized DAO system that would feature listing, trading, value-added governance, and many more qualities. So FloraDAO is an NFT DAO, and we also continue to leverage the concept of blockchain. So we are building on the blockchain technology, right? And we're also going to, whatever decisions we are going to be making is going to be on the blockchain technology. Everything we are doing here is going to be on the blockchain technology. Let me just move on quickly. So it's going to be built on the Binance Smart Chain. The reason we chose the Binance Smart Chain is because of the security, the fees, and the ease of access. People can easily access BSC, right? And the fees are not high, so anybody can actually. So if you actually want to own an NFT with us, you don't need to now pay high fees to be able to participate in what we're doing. So you can easily use, no matter the amount of money you have, you can co-own, you can participate in this and own a piece of land, a piece of property or whatever on the metaverse, or participate in the pre-sale of a what they call it, an expensive NFT from a well-known NFT artist, because the platform is easy to access and it also has low fees. So let me just jump to the features of FloraDAO. So first of all, it's a decentralized autonomous organization. It operates as a DAO, and the concepts and users can deploy. It operates on the DAO concepts, and users can deploy the essence of the DAO, and decisions are taken via decentralized voting systems or voting process that achieves transparency and profit maximization for everybody, because it's going to be the ownership is going to be based on what you bring in, right? It's not necessarily going to be if you own, as long as you participate in the ownership of our tokens. The amount of tokens you own also determines the amount of NFT or the share of the NFTs that you have. So it's an extensive NFT platform. The FloraDAO will partner with top artists and curators in the NFT art space to curate artworks from popular and upcoming artists in the space, with the choice of artwork being subject to governance voting from the community. So we are going to be getting, like I said earlier, NFTs, NFT artworks from top NFT artists in the industry, as long even upcoming artists as well. But then the decision still lies in the hands of the community. As long as you're part of the community, you can make a decision. You can choose which particular NFT based on your research. Probably if we bring a couple of NFT artists and NFT arts that we are planning on getting for the community on behalf of the community, the community has to decide which one should cut it, which one should it go for. So it's not a centralized decision. Nobody will just force an NFT on anybody. So the community, just like the normal decentralized organizations that we've seen in DeFi, just that we are cutting DeFi and bringing it into the NFT space. All right. So those are one of some of our features. We also have crowdfunding. Like I said, NFT DAO is designed to help individuals crowdfund and purchase valuable and scarce NFT collections because of how scarce and expensive these things are. That was the idea behind this, because we thought to ourselves there are NFTs that we would like to own, but we can't own them because of the cost of these NFTs, because we don't have access to them as well. So now we are here to help people who have the same issues. So now we're bringing these NFTs to them, and we are all co-owning it as a community, right? So we can fund and purchase valuables and scarce NFT collections. Now, individuals and teams can curate artworks from NFT artists and then create crowdfunding campaigns on the valuable NFT art that will be locked in a vault. Now, the vault case now is just a form of a security. So when we get that NFT, it's going to be locked in a vault. When we purchase an NFT, it's going to be locked in a vault. And peradventure, if in some time it's doubles or triples in value, the community will also decide, oh shit, the community will also decide if we should sell them or if we should keep them. So it's a community-based decision through voting and all of that. So NFT that will also be able to crowdfund and participate as angel investors in upcoming viable NFT projects.
Also, the platform is meant to be cross interoperable platform that will work across the Binance Smart Chain, the Polygon Smart Chain, and the Ethereum platform. Then also we are going to be working on metaverses to enable individuals purchase lands on metaverse and build infrastructures that would enable the growth process in the metaverse. And finally, we are going to be partnering with NFT games to enable individuals who would like to participate in the pay-to-earn system to get mentors who would guide them. By staking their tokens, they're able to get people who guide them and provide the NFTs for them to use to participate in the games, which they can then pay back after a certain time period. At the moment, we are a group of 11 members, and a group of 11 members, and at the moment, we have built our website and we are currently working on our smart contracts. So this is basically all. Thank you. Are there any questions?
So, judges, do we have any questions for the Flora DAO project? Okay, so I think we are running a bit over. So thank you so much, Flora DAO team. It was a great project. And now, having presented all of the amazing projects today, we're going to have a word from our amazing panel of judges who are going to give all of our projects today a little bit of feedback, a little bit of advice on how you can really take yourself to the next level. So if you're an aspiring crypto entrepreneur out there, get your pen and your notepad out because we have some of the finest projects with us today. Like I said, Mobox, Refinable, Quidax, Bundle, Binance Smart Chain, Fortune. So please take it away, judges.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there was a lot of really cool projects. We have unfortunately made a decision, individually made a decision on what you would prefer as a project, but that doesn't mean you should stop and stop building, because this is of course a competition, and anybody can win, anybody can lose. So we're really hoping that you will keep on building, keep on expanding the BSH community, supporting Binance, and just expand your product, and you'll probably get there if you keep persisting. But every project was really great. So thank you for all your projects.
Great. The other judges have some words of advice. for our aspiring cryptopreneurs?
Yeah, I got a few things to say. Lots of great ideas and innovations today. We're so happy to see so much innovation and development that's happening on the Binance Smart Chain. This community is really growing, whether it's DeFi or NFTs or a combination of both. Just a really today. As Sammy said in the beginning, there are two very important parts to a successful project. The product development side and also the growth and user acquisition side. So you guys got to all stay razor focused, keep up the great work, and we hope to be able to test some of these great dApps very soon.
Great, thank you for those very encouraging words. The rest of the judges? Okay, well, from my side, I just wanted to say, keep in mind, exactly like they said, it's not just about having great tech, it's about having a great community, an engaged community and user base. So I think we've not only seen some amazing projects today, but we've also got some amazing advice should you be launching a project or want to launch a project. So remember, today's session will be on our Binance Africa Masterclass homepage, along with all of the hackathon workshops, all of the masterclasses we've done. So if you check the chat box below, you'll be able to see a link directly to that masterclass homepage. And remember, we have 4 more days before the results come out for all of these projects. And we find out who are the lucky winners of that $30,000 prize pool. So if you want to be someone who contributes to making the decision of who wins, remember that hacker link you can see on screen right now, or that just was here before, you can go there and vote for your favorite project. It costs just 1 cent to vote for your favorite projects. So go out there, vote for your favorite projects, support them, and let's see who comes out on top on the 28th. We also know that, we did run a bit over, but I think it was just so interesting we couldn't help it. We hope you enjoyed it as well. And we just want to thank once again all of our amazing judges, as well as our sponsors. So Wilson, any final words from you?
Yeah, sure. What I want to say to the team is the passion by which they've started the project, they should actually keep it up. It's one thing to start, is yet another thing to keep the fire burning. So just like one of the judges has also stated, you need to be focused on user acquisition, as that's a very important part of every project. And it's a good thing that most of these projects are focused on the African market, so they would really end up solving problems in the African space. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Great. So everyone have a great evening, and we will see you again very soon.
Sure. Bye.